Joined now by the Chief Exec of Ofgem, Jonathan Brearley. Hi, it's good to see you.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us on the programme. We're saying that people will be better off, but they won't feel better off, of course, will they?
Well, I mean, you've got to accept that we have seen the most dramatic change in prices in our history. So the real price of energy is above £3,200. And although government are paying part of our bills, we are still at the moment paying £2,500 a year. Now, there is good news. That is going down to 2074, so prices are falling. But you're right, when you take away all the government support that's finishing, things are still going to be tough for many families this winter.
OK. How have you managed to bring it down to that?
Well, what we've seen internationally is a dramatic fall in the cost of energy that we all need to heat our homes and to make sure that we can power all the things we need to power. Now, because of those falls, the price cap regulates the price and makes sure that those falls in costs are passed on to customers. And that's why we can make that change today.
This is for the winter, of course. How much, for the summer, I should say, forgive me, for the summer, what happens when we go into winter time again? Well,
look, I mean, with the market the way it is very hard to predict how prices are going to change. When we look out across the forward markets, prices look roughly steady compared to where they are today, but I wouldn't put too much weight on that. It could take a big change either in the level of demand that we have. For example, prices may well fall, but equally, should something happen, prices could go up again. What we can guarantee is through the price cap is that because we regulate the price, we are paying a fair price for the costs of the energy that we need.
When we say 2054, 74, 2000, and it makes a difference, of course, 2074, just explain to our viewers where that figure comes from, because obviously that's the average. A lot of people will pay more than that.
They will, and what we're describing there is the average household. So if you look across the country, take a typical household, they'll be paying about 2074. But if you use more than average, then yes, your bill will be higher, and if you use less than average, your bill will be lower. What it does mean, though, is the same direction of travel for everyone. So about 20% of our prices are coming down.
And as we say, the support from the government ends in July when this new price cap comes in. What's your view on what will... You said you can't really tell us what's going to happen in the winter time, but what's your view on whether the government should potentially start to offer more support again if the bills do go up?
Well, we've got to bear in mind how much support the government's put in place. So they've paid almost £1,500 of all of our bills over the course of this winter. Now, that's a massive amount of money.
Because people can afford otherwise.
Of course, absolutely right. And, you know, in August last year, we were asking the government to do that. Our perspective now is, as we face a different phase in the gas crisis, we should all be focusing our efforts on those most vulnerable customers who are going to continue to struggle. So it's not just for government, it's for government, for us and the industry to work together to make sure that customers are looked after.
What influences how much our energy costs?
Well, the principal influence is the cost of gas and the cost of electricity that we buy. Now, what we've seen internationally since Russia withdrew its gas from the market is a dramatic increase in those prices. What we're beginning to see now is the market respond, find new ways to provide our gas and our electricity, and that's why prices are beginning to come down.
So are you saying that as long as the war continues in Ukraine, we are going to see high prices?
Well, I think without a doubt that is a principal factor that's causing the prices to be high now. But what we are seeing now are other sources of gas coming. So we're seeing, frankly, gas used to come in pipes through Europe into Europe, and we used to buy our gas from there. We're now seeing a lot more gas being transported on boats. So over time, there will be new solutions. Well, they're roughly the same, actually, in terms of the cost of the commodity. So they're not dramatically different. The problem is right now we haven't got enough gas, so people are competing for a smaller amount than everyone needs. And what we'll see is America and other places coming forward with gas and prices coming down.
I was surprised at how much gas we use, actually, in the UK. We seem to rely on gas more than any other energy. What are we going to do about that long term?
Well, look, we're all heating our homes with gas right now. So all of us go home, put our central heating on, that's gas. And many of our sort of power stations are also powered by gas. The big thing we need to do, and the Secretary of State pointed this out, is to make our entire system cheaper by moving towards net zero. So if we have more renewables, if we have more nuclear, if we have more new sources of power, then prices overall and costs overall, we believe, will get to a better place. But that takes time, and that means building more infrastructure to get ourselves there.
And in the meantime, we probably about 80% of our energy use is gas, is that right?
So a very large amount is our use of gas, and that is because we use it to heat our homes, part of our industry, and for part of our electricity.
OK, so while we look at that, what renewables there might be, we'll have a look at should we look at our dashboard in a second, if we've got it? But before that, if you were sitting down with the Chancellor today, what would you say? for the rest of the year?
So what I'd say to the Chancellor is the economy is in a better place given in the energy sector, so the energy sector is stabilising. The other factor I should mention is we are hoping to see fixed price deals and competition re-enter this market so customers can do better. But the message to everyone is the same. We all need to make sure we redouble our efforts to focus on those who are most vulnerable and need our help the most.
So what would your advice be to people right now? Should they look at a fixed price deal, or is it too early to do that?
Well, I mean, we're not seeing a huge amount right now, but I am hopeful in the second half of the year that we will begin to see good value fixed price deals. So I'd encourage every customer to check, make sure they know what they want. Some of us like to fix our price. Some of us like to take more of a chance within the market. But look into the market and see if good value deals come forward. And we're hopeful that they will in the second half of the year.
What do you do at home?
So what do? I have always switched supplier when I can. So it's been a different circumstance the last couple of years, but I always switch supplier. I always look into the market to see the best deal for me. Now, that for me is not just about price. That's about the service I get. And that's also about the sort of tariffs I might want to sign up to in the future. So there's a number of factors I look at, but yes, I'm an active switcher in the market.
OK, so 2,074 from July, but that could go up again come the winter time.
Or go down, we just don't know.
It's good to see you. Thanks for joining us on the programme.